I'm Brimstone, and I've got with me here Ty Tangles, of course, and Red Cube, and you're coming back with us here to see match number 2 of Week 5 of CCS R6W. The first match was a great one, and I'm sure we're going to get another good one here. It's going to be OutDuced versus Disrupt Gaming Female. What can you tell us about this, Ty?
Well, it's a game that I'm looking forward to. I can tell you that much. I mean, it's Disrupt looking strong all season. I think they've only lost a single game. And also, if I'm not mistaken, to Queen YOLO mid, and it was a pretty good game. I think it was like 7-4, which isn't crazy, and it could be very much map related. I think that Disrupt ended up taking Queen YOLO mid in that match to a map that they had intel on Queen YOLO mid on, but it just so happened, and I think that was Border, by the way, or it was Border Clubhouse. I think it was Border, and Queen YOLO mid was just really good on Border. They've been really good on Border, so that's just the way the cookie crumbles in that sense of the word. On the other side of the board, also a very good team, very capable. I just think we're going to have to wait and see. I think this matchup can go either way.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, OutDuced last week, they had a close one with Axios, 75. They squeezed out a victory there, though. And Disrupt Gaming, well, they have Maddox, so you don't really need to say much more than that. Because,
nope.
What was that, 21 kills?
Yes, 21 kills.
GG.
Yeah. We saw it's a very similar story to what we said with Marmalade. Marmalade dropped also 21 kills in the week before. And if you're thinking of MVPs, Maddox, Marmalade, Fuya, there's a bunch of names that you can put up there, but those three that I just said are probably near your top. And the thing that we also, I think, need to look at is the fact that Disrupt right now, they are sitting comfortably in third place with 9 points. And even with a loss here, they will still be in the top 4. If we see, I think it is, yes, if OutDuced gets a win here, they could potentially be in the top 4, but they also have to rely on Victoria's Secret losing. So there's a lot of different factors for OutDuced coming into this matchup, but if we're looking at Disrupt, they're relatively comfortable with their spot. Even with a loss, they will still be sitting in the top 4. But just looking at statistics and things, the favorited team, or the more favorited, is that a word? I don't know. The more favorite team, favorited. Okay, yeah, that works. It is going to be Disrupt. And Disrupt, if they win here, they do also have a potential with being tied for first place with Artemis if Artemis loses. There's a bunch of different combinations and there's a bunch of different scenarios. So there's a lot that is behind this matchup. It's almost the exact same thing that I said with last game. Although on the surface, it might just seem like another game. Looking at the points, looking at what could go where, there's a lot of potential for things to move around a lot going into week number 6.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think it's probably about time we look at the rosters. How does that sound, guys?
Perfect.
I can live with that.
Perfect, yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and do the honors for that. So we've got OutDuced featuring Trippery, Hanamitsu, Mosmo, Mac, and Kitbull. And they'll be going up against Disrupt Gaming with, of course, the one, the only Maddox, Doja Kai, Fry Queen, Chameleonaire, and Dope Girl, and any apologies if I mispronounced any names there. But those are the rosters.
Doja Kai. I'm curious if that... Oh, that's just Kai, right? She just goes by Kai in game. Okay, that's who I thought. Okay.
So I think there's one thing, if I'm not mistaken, Kai is actually going to be getting subbed out potentially. I don't know if that's 100%, but one thing that is 100% is there is a roster change for OutDuced. So Hanamitsu is going to be coming in for, I think it was, I don't exactly know who it was, but Hanamitsu, this is going to be coming in as a sub. So that could kind of change things around just a little bit for OutDuced.
I think that Hanamitsu a couple of weeks ago was a sub and then became like a permanent.
Became the main. Okay.
Yeah, I think they announced that she's like a permanent staple now of the team.
All right, perfect. All right, yeah. So I was going to say that could change maybe what you go about strats and things like that. But if what you're saying is true, which it probably is, I'm guessing that she's been pretty much indulged with the strats, pretty much indulged with everything that goes around in their kind of entire game thing. So I won't be surprised if there's no discrepancies there. So yes, it's a roster change, and yes, it's a slight difference from what we've seen before. But I'm not really expecting any major discrepancies with how they play just because of it.
Yeah, so we're going to see if maybe the bans actually work this time around. I'm not sure what's going on with those suckers right now. We'll see what happens. But any predictions for this match? I mean, Disrupt, heavy favorite. OutDuced, I'm not sure how their schedule's been toughness-wise. I don't know if they've proven their chops, and it is working. All right. Hello. Bank off the board first, like it is every single time this is North America. So it looks like we'll keep going. Border, Villa also getting removed. So Bank and Villa Disrupt being about the most predictable you could possibly imagine. But this is North America. We talked about their map pools or something. Clubhouse still in the mix. Clubhouse always in the mix. Even if we don't end up going there, very possible that we will end up going there. Remember, we had a 4 Clubhouse, and yes, indeed, we will go back to Clubhouse yet again. So Clubhouse it will be. And like I said, every team has information on every other team on Clubhouse because every team has played it, and there are VODs, in some instances, multiple VODs of teams playing that map. So a lot of counter intel can be prepared, especially if you're quote-unquote the underdog, right?
Yes.
Which in this case, OutDuced is. So, you know, it's something that we're just going to have to see, like, do they have something prepared? Are they going to have counterbans? We saw counterbans happen in the last game. I think OutDuced is very capable of doing that. And I think they're going to have to do something along those lines to shut them down. Maddox, we've seen her get the only 2 aces, period, against 2 different teams for DG thus far. And if there is going to be a counterban, I'm pretty sure it's going to be related to her.
Most likely, yes. I think if there's any 1-2 counterban in this game, it's going to be Maddox, no doubt about it. And another thing I also want to briefly go over is the fact, since we see Clubhouse so often, it allows us, not only the viewers and the casters, but also the players, to really see how the strats differentiate between teams. So the game we saw last time around, literally about 10 minutes ago, it was very attacking favored, which is something we don't typically see. Could that completely change, and will this be a more typical Clubhouse game?
I don't necessarily know. I'd say it was more 8K favored, right?
8K favored. Okay,
was just doing everything.
That's better wording for it.
Yeah, I think that in the previous match, they only won like 1 defense and 1 attack. 8K won all the rest. So,
yes,
you know, it's just one of those situations. But I do think we have 10 people in the game, so we're going to get the R's coming out for you guys. I know you're chomping at the bit to move forward, as are we. In the meantime, just a quick shout out again to our host for the evening, Brimstone. Thanks a lot. We're going to leave you behind as the game is going to get underway. Your second best of 1 of the evening. We will be going, of course, to Clubhouse yet again as we enter this ban phase. Also, while I'm giving the shout outs, thank you very much to DJ Dextros on helping me do the production sort of stuff thingies here. Ted Meister on the camera for tonight. So appreciate all of you guys. And then, of course, there's us, the casters, right? But everybody gets to see us, so we don't get to give ourselves a shout out.
Yeah, we can't give we're already in there too much.
Yeah,
we have to be on the low with that one.
Exactly. As, of course, no surprise to anybody, Maverick will be the first ban.
Yeah, I'm going to be expecting Maverick Jackal off the board here. Maybe something a little bit different like a Capitao. But defense bans, I'm expecting to be very, very different from last time around because we saw 2 extremely targeted bans. And yeah, again, Maverick Jackal, no surprises whatsoever. But I'm expecting, yes, we could see a target ban for Maddox, but maybe, just maybe, we see the more typical bans. Maybe a Mirror off the board, maybe an Echo off the board. And it would just be kind of something that will, I think, more aligns with the meta, and we are going to be seeing a Kaid off the board. That definitely aligns more with the meta than a Jaeger off the board, but it is still
incoming
a little bit different.
Echo
incoming. I 100%, yeah, I 100% agree. It's going to be Echo off the board here. Caster's prediction. Oh my, wow, that hurts. I'm not going to lie, that one hurts. It's going to be Mira off the board. So still, you have an Echo and you have a Maestro on the board. Very interesting bans today. Very, very interesting.
Very, very interesting indeed. And, you know, Disrupt already complaining about it in chat. I said that OutDuced...
No one likes it.
Yeah, I think I said that OutDuced needs to do a counterban. The thing is I know that DG probably has Mira strats or somebody prefers to play Mira, but they are so perfectly capable of playing it the normal way with Mira off the board because Mira's off the board so often, especially in Clubhouse, that I don't think it's going to affect them very much. If anything, it was for show, the complaint.
Yeah.
But here we go. Everybody getting lined up. Maddox on the buck. And right as I say that, of course, 6 picks over to the sledge. And CCTV Cash will be the first defensive side, as a surprise to nobody, once again, for OutDuced.
That 6 pick from the buck to the sledge, it's, in my opinion, a little bit questionable because I think right now in this meta, I'd actually go with the buck a little bit more, simply because his utility, in my opinion, is a little bit more versatile. He can shoot above him and also below him, whereas Sledge is only below with the sledgehammer. And they do the same job just in slightly different ways. And in a situation where you are attacking cash and it is a site that is on the second floor, I'd most likely want to have the ability to actually shoot from below the operators and just make sure that the defense gets as uncomfortable as possible. And with Sledge, you can't necessarily do that. Yes, you have nades, but also Buck has nades. So I think maybe in this situation, we could see that change later on in the matchup. Instead of bringing Sledge, you do bring a Buck, but it also could be just the fact that I like Sledge's gun a little bit better than I like Buck's gun.
As do I. But here we go, getting started. Looks like the garage door will be open, so Doja will take a minute to make sure that there aren't any runouts queued up. Of course, we know there isn't. We know it's just for a black eye, and they will find that camera right off the bat, so that will be destroyed, as will the default cam. We'll see Moshmo prep to start tricking on this wall, this balcony wall as well. A lot of castle work downstairs, too, just trying to figure out exactly what they plan on doing. It looks like a little bit of a road game there in that central corridor. But they have the ability to come back up top really quickly. They also board the door. We've seen OutDuced do that before. They kind of board the door over towards cash stairs. I'm not sure if that's for sound cue purposes or to maybe offer a little bit of protection for people trying to rotate up cash stairs from underneath. If that balcony wall gets open or if garage control is taken by the attackers. But so far, pretty silent as a Thatcher is heard to go off elsewhere. Frag grenade will get chucked in, and oh, what a shot. Maddox will take Moshmo off the board. Doja Wolf, though, downstairs as well. Looks like one of the roamers able to take her down. None of her teammates nearby. Oh, as I say that, of course, here comes the Thermite to pick her up, but I'm not sure if they know that she's down. And it looks like they're not going to push and try to finish that kill off.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know where the ADS was for that bandit. Almost all the time you have an ADS facing that east side, and almost all the time you're going to see that nade completely eaten up by it. But unfortunately there for the bandit, well, he gets a mouthful of shrapnel and just takes a nade straight to the face and dies. So really good kill there from Maddox, and it's a great start for them because it can open up that wall so much more easier. But a little bit of a Cold War now. It's just kind of sitting and waiting as we reach that 1 minute mark. Not too much happening. Yes, shots are being ran out, but none of them are connecting. It actually looks to be a connector-sided push, even when you have that control of east side. So a little bit of an interesting push here from DG, and it's going to be a little bit interesting to see exactly how they decide to push from here. It's weird that they're not kind of capitalizing on that east side being completely opened, and they're going to be opting for that connector push, but I think this is throwing off the defense quite a bit.
Yep, Tripper will get the opening kill for her team onto Chameleonaire. That is that Thatcher off the board. I think all of the EMP grenades having been thrown already. Matt K will follow it up onto Maddox. That's the Slayer for DG. And just like that, 3 in a row, Hanamitsu taking Doja off the board. So you got the Sledge and the Zofia gone as well. Doker will fling a stun grenade through the window. Kipple will see it but not be affected by it. There comes the second one. She knows somebody's just around the corner, so both will go back and forth. But Kipple with the head tap onto Dope Girl. It's only Fry Queen left. She's got the guns at hand. She's shooting frivolously all around the site, but can't connect. Finally gets one onto Trippery. Has to find 2 more. Has 2 seconds to do it. One laying down. She gets the knife, but it won't be enough. Not finding everybody in the closing seconds. Hanamitsu goes down at the end, but OutDuced come out the other side with the W.
That was a very interesting hold from OutDuced. I really thought Disrupt, after that nade kill super early on, we're going to be able to take control of site very quickly and also very easily. But the fact that we saw OutDuced kind of rotate their hold just a little bit and recognize the fact that, hey, this east wall is completely open. We have to be a little bit more careful. We have to be a little bit more passive. Let's just wait till DG kind of runs into our crosshairs. And that's exactly what happened. We saw one by one DG started to fall. And unfortunately, a Habana in a 1v, was it 1v3 or 1v4?
1v3.
It was 1v3 situation is most likely not going to win it out. So a really strong round there from OutDuced. And unlike the 8K game, we are going to be seeing the defense staying true to the pattern of Clubhouse, which is they are going to be winning the first round.
Yes, it will. And, you know, we've seen teams have a lot of success at attacking on Clubhouse, not just the last game, but throughout CCS. And as a matter of fact, we've seen it where, like, a team will have a tremendous amount of success, maybe like a 4-2 scoreline at the half, attacking, and then they'll switch sides, and then the other team will have success on attack too. Clubhouse is, I really like the rework. I mean, at the very highest level of play is usually where we see the win-loss statistics as well as ranked. right? We see ranked statistics as well. But this is neither of those, right? This is a high-level competition. This is a top-tier, quit your job and competitive siege becomes your job.
Do this for your life, yeah.
So there is a difference between this, and there's certainly a big difference as well between this and ranked. So the numbers are technically askew when it comes to this. And
Yes,
of course, we
of
don't
course.
have a sample size big enough to make the determination if that trend continues at this level.
This is another situation where I think Sledge is a little bit more useful, but I would still like to opt for the Buck. But once again, it could easily just be the fact that L8582 is such a good gun. And we are going to be seeing so much kitchen control already for the attackers, just trying to make the defenders as uncomfortable as possible is the name of the game right now. And with 2 minutes left, this is already a lot of map control for this attacking team. The next thing they need to do is maybe find a pick here and there and then form their execute onto site. We are going to see the Valkyrie already dispatched of the C4 extremely early on. A little bit premature and okay, is a little bit premature with the C4 throw there. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties if you guys saw that. But a little bit premature there with the C4 throw, as could easily have helped in post plant or potentially the run down those east stairs. But Valkyrie's just going to have to live without it for now.
She is. I'm not sure what happened there. It kind of, like, my feet, like, jumped back in time to, like, when the lobby was hot. But it fixed itself on its own. I don't know. I didn't do anything. So, interesting. But here we go. About half the time gone. Some EMPs will come down as it looked like a moto drop will be the future plans here for the attacking squad of Disrupt. Still 10 people left alive. A little bit of damage on both sides of the board, but nothing too bad. Smoke playing the dirt tunnel with shotgun in hand. Will not see any action, as it looks like everybody on the attacking squad is either up top or about ready to drop the moto hatch, and I don't think that they've committed to it yet. We see somebody down at the bottom of main. We'll take that camera out. We'll actually do a very risky play. Push it down main hall. Trippery will find one. Dopeker will find one right back with the refrag. Still 4-4. Maddox will sneak onto site. Chameleonaire and Kipple will find kills, though, so it's still a tie game at this point. And finally, Maddox will make her presence known. Surprise! Headshot down onto Kipple. Only 2 remain on the defense. It looks like one will go down. That'll be Maddox with the 2-piece. Mosmo, Peek, and Moto find one, bringing the numbers a little bit back. She'll have to find 2 more for the 1v3 clutch if OutDuced want to take that. They know where she was last seen. Maddox sneaking into sight will find the last 3 kills for her team. And Disrupt Gaming will strike right back with the point of their own.
We saw on the defensive side of things, they had a Valkyrie and they also had a Maestro. Both operators, both have cams that help you determine if either someone is pushing a certain area or pushing into sight. In this situation, that intel was not spitted out to the rest of the team, and Maddox found herself in sight with absolutely nobody knowing she was in there. The fact that she was just kind of sitting in the back of sight for about 15 seconds.
Who goes main hall? Who goes main hall?
Exactly. That's very true. That's very true.
With 10 people alive at the time when she started pushing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where kind of expect the unexpected. And unfortunately, we saw there from OutDuced, they weren't expecting the unexpected, and it worked in favor of Disrupt Gaming as Maddox just sneaks into the site, is able to pick off the Maestro, and in the end, pick off the Bandit. And just like that, it is 1-1, and we are going to be seeing the defense opt to go back downstairs to Mr. Old Reliable Bomb Site, but they do not want to get too stubborn here. That's something you typically see in competitive play. Yes, downstairs is very, very good site, but going over 2 or 3 times to the same site over and over and it's maybe not working, that's when you have to change things a little bit. But I do like the decision here to try it once again, because Maddox, that might have just been kind of a little bit of a lull in the situation, and they can fix it here.
Did you say a little bit of a lull?
Yeah, like an
LUL lull?
What's the word?
Like where you lull somebody in.
No, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word now. It's like
you're too young to have that happen to you. Okay, I'm old, so I get to use that as an excuse.
It's the word that's like a little bit of a
because you can lull somebody, like you can lull them in. You know what I mean? Like tantalize them, bring them in.
I can't think of it now. I thought lull was the word, but obviously it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm just as confused as you are, folks out there. That's okay. Welcome to the CCS.
A null maybe? Like I don't know.
Oh, in a lull. Brimstone, our host, of course, bringing in the knowledge, dropping knowledge bombs here As now, let's get into this round, shall we? 1-1, about 45 seconds off the board, and Maddox wasting no time taking control of the top of main stairs, and most likely will be pushing forward as well. Doja, meanwhile, in the garage storage room, will start working on the barbed wire, try to drive somebody out from behind AC. Seems to be the plan. Maddox will push and start getting the floor opened up here in the kitchen, trying to drive people out of the back of sight, which they have been successful with so far. We've seen OutDuced counter be successful with the impact grenades. Looks like Hanamitsu will have some old intel, throw a C4 up, and she'll get the floor open up, but Maddox already in kitchen at the time. Maddox will push back and start using the newly acquired viewfinder put into the floor to try and throw some bullets back and down onto OutDuced. But it'll be Chameleon finding the opening kill onto Trippery. That's the Jaeger off the board.
Yeah, once again, though, I think a little bit premature use of that C4. The C4 can come in useful so late in the round, and the fact that we've seen 2 times now that it's just kind of been tossed up is a little bit questionable. We are going to see a flurry of kills actually pop out there, and seeing the Smoke and Jaeger are going to be falling on the defensive side of things, and you also don't have that Capitao if you're on the attacking side of things. Lots of utility off the board for both of these teams now, and with a minute left, this is actually a little bit in favor of the defense. But if we do see this push and this execute from Maddox actually work, well, now it's a 4v2. It's definitely a little bit more in favor of the attack as things are starting to come down. And talk about coming down, it's going to be planting the diffuser is Chameleon. And unfortunately, Moshmo, that's siege timing, but somehow she's able to win that out, and Maddox is able to find the kill onto Moshmo. It's going to be a 3v1 all up to the pulse without a C4. This is just kind of...
It was a knife off.
It's a little bit of a dream, and it's just a knife off. Unfortunate there, but Dope Girl is able to find the knife, and DG takes 2 rounds now in a row as we see a little bit of a game of peekaboo there.
Yeah. Who would have known that round would end in a boxing match? But it looks like Disrupt will take the dub there downstairs. So well played by them. I think they were kind of running out of time there towards the end. But, you know, DG's kind of been known for winning their gunfights when it comes down to that. So they did a good job. They're up 2-1. You know, they dropped the first round, but they've stabilized with 1-2 straight on 2 separate defensive sites. And now OutDuced will go back up top where they've had their first successful defense, CCTV and Cash, to try and collect yet another defensive win.
I think OutDuced in that first round was very close to perfect, but perfection is a moving target, and I don't think we've seen OutDuced adapt enough with that downstairs hold. The up top hold was really, really good, but downstairs we saw DG kind of ran rampant and was able to take 2 fairly easy rounds. I put air quotes. You guys can't see it, but I put air quotes around easy. As we just kind of got to see a little bit more of an adaptation here from OutDuced. Yes, they are going back to the site that they have won, but if they do the same thing that they did the first time around, I'm almost 100% positive DG has read into that. They have snuffed it out. They have addressed their mistakes, and they could easily take this round away from them. And if we see, once again, attacking going in favor, but like you said, as stats are a little bit skewed, but attacking going in favor on Clubhouse is just a little bit questionable when you're on defense.
Yeah, you know what kind of stakes is you got like, look, oh, I forgot that they changed sides. Remember his hammer used to be called Journey's End, and now it's Breaching Hammer? Yeah. That's so lame. I was looking at
very sad.
You know, what is it? Sad. Shock Charge on Bandit and like Barricade on Castle. Like I miss you still have Texas Dynamite on
Dynamite. Yeah, you have Texas Dynamite. That's
we
good.
need some snappy names, right? I don't like
they changed Dokkaebi's as well. Dokkaebi's like used to be like a hack name, and now it's just called like Cell Phone Rain. I'm like, what? it's
She'll kick things off with a headshot onto Moshmo. That's and make that two headshots at the same time. She'll lose about 1/3 of her health, but find 2. And now full control sight. She'll find one on the top of Garage as well. Finally, she gets shut down, but by her teammate. Dumfrill says, leave some kills for me, Maddox, okay?
Not another ace.
Yeah, there's only 2 left, okay? Let's find some for her. As a matter of fact, probably had no idea Maddox had absolutely taken over the site. Was surprised by the movement there as the wall got opened up just a moment before. But still 4-2, only 1 minute and 15 seconds off the board. DG's got all the time in the world to finish this out.
Yeah, DG is looking very, very good. It's not even the halfway point, and the plant is coming down, and so much sight control. Almost everybody is in sight, but that C4 is going to land. Finally, we see an effective use of the C4, but it's all going to be up to the Valkyrie now, who doesn't have the most powerful gun, and in a retake situation against 3 operators, this is not looking very good, but Mac is able to find 1. This is getting closer and closer to being possible here for the Valkyrie. She just has to play her cards correctly. but we already are going to be seeing the Thermite and the Zofia getting into the positions where they can perch up onto the window and just wait and watch. But Thermite is a little bit behind time and won't be able to watch. But just like that, Valkyrie, knowing where the Zofia is, knows that she has to go for the kill. But unfortunately, Zofia is always going to win that gunfight out when you come jumping through a window and try to pre-fire. But good effort there from the Valkyrie. But unfortunately, once again, Maddie was in a situation where an ace was on the horizon, but shut down by her teammate, as we see the sorry in chat.
She's not happy either. You're fired. That could have been the third ace of CCS, and of course her third ace, because she's got them all so far. And yep, they think that's
just
normal.
Unfortunate.
But hey, they came out the other side with the W. OutDuced, not looking so hot right now. A valiant effort by Mac for the retake scenario. Just couldn't get the job done. Difficult in 1v3, of course, especially against a team with the gunning capability that Disrupt has on their side. So we enter into round number 5 without OutDuced needing to win both of their remaining defenses in order to tie at the half. So here we go, round number 5 coming up.
And I'd like to remind everybody, if Disrupt win this, they have a potential for being tied for first place. So there is a lot for them that they can take out.
Artemis needs to lose. Yeah.
Artemis needs to lose. So there is potential for DG to be tied for first place, but Artemis needs to lose and they need to win now.
And I'll say this too, like prior to this match starting, DG's at third, Queen Yellow Mid's at second. They both have the same record, so the same amount of points. And then, so it defaults after that to rounds 4, which they have the exact same. Queen Yellow Mid and Disrupt are the same. But Queen Yellow Mid has 3 less rounds against, or lost rounds, than DG. So they also, without Artemis losing at all, have the ability to move into second place, even if Queen Yellow Mid wins, if they can do a very one-sided sweep onto OutDuced. So if they can carry this trend on, they can move into second without Artemis even having to lose.
If for all the viewers watching, if this just sounds like a bunch of numbers and super randomness, we recommend looking at the Liquipedia page, and you can see the exact points and the exact statistics we are talking about, as well as the fact we talked about this earlier. Liquipedia is looking for volunteers, so if you want to help them out, they are an incredible organization. So make sure if you have any time to help them out, you go and do that. But we are going to be getting into the action phase here, reaching the 2-minute mark, and already that east wall once again has been opened. This is an issue I've seen quite a lot today, as how did that even happen? How did Maddox even lose that out? But it is going to be refragged, and it doesn't matter because Maddox technically didn't lose that out, as she is going to be getting picked right back up. That was questionable from the Jaeger. I guess the Jaeger saw an opportunity, took it, and unfortunately couldn't land the shots. But that is a very valuable gun off the board, and with this east control, you really want as many bodies as possible. But unfortunately, one is going to be down for OutDuced, and DG in a position where they already have the advantage.
And there it goes. Maddox will actually get finished off by MacFur. So it'll be a 4v4 smoke doing work with the SMG-11. I tell you what, SMG-11 in capable hands is one of, if not the most deadly gun in this game. Always has been. I remember back in the day when it had an ACOG. That thing was like a sniper. It was just disgusting. It still is a disgusting gun. But I do miss the ACOG on it. Not playing against it, but having it in my hands, yes, of course. But here we go. About 2 minutes off the board. It is a 4v4. Disrupt kind of slowed down a little bit, losing their fragger. Maddox off the board early. I mean, she got dropped down and then finished off by the smoke. So here we go. As they're very spread out at the moment. I think all 4 attackers are in different locations. And now we'll start working in towards construction. As the time ticks away, they still have time to work with, but they're going to have to make a strategy to start pushing now. So bullets go back and forth while the smoke go and hit Doja in the face almost. And ignite right next to her. She'll have to back off. Here comes the X-Kairos going off on the wall, too. It looks like a stun grenade from the Zofia. Will stop Mac from throwing Toxic Babe number 2. Bullets get thrown back and forth. The wall will get successfully open. Mac, very safe behind the bomb chassis, will throw out her final smoke. She has very little health to work with. She'll get thrown. They know she's there. There's also most likely one in cash stairs looking through the rotate. She'll peek out, though, and Fry Queen will win that out and go for the plant. Hitful. We'll get one onto Dope Girl, so kills going back and forth. There's still 6 alive, 3 on either side as the time ticks away. Frantically from underneath with the shotgun, the Mute will look for the diffuser, but it will get down. Kipple will find one onto Doja. 2v3, now only 2 attackers left in this retake scenario, and everything will slow down. Now the attacker's holding angles. Fright Queen onto Kipple. That'll be her 3rd of the round. And Chameleonaire will find one of her own, so now only one left. That'll be the Legion with about 15 health. We'll have to find 2 and do it fast as half the diffuser time is gone. He will go towards the window, throw some bullets out, but will decide not to leap out like her teammate did just a round prior. Trying to find somebody, but it looks like that will be it. Fry Queen will finish it up with a quadra on the round. And DG looking hot after losing their first round. They won 4 in a row.
I'm actually relatively surprised that DG was able to win that out. Like you said, around that minute mark, everybody was so spread apart. And in Siege, you can't necessarily have that lone wolf mentality because Siege is one of those games where the pack survives. If you're with your teammates and you have that refrag potential, that not guarantees, but it helps solidify a position where you can win a round. And the fact that DG wasn't really showing any of that and everybody was all over the place, I really thought that would be a position where OutDuced could capitalize. Unfortunately, they were unable to capitalize, and DG are in a position where they could go 5-1 into the half. And we also are going to be seeing not the Blitz come out, unfortunately, there. I was really actually kind of excited to see that. Oh, nope, just teasing us, I guess, now. But Sledge is going to be still brought out with Maddox, and it's going to be very interesting. And we are going to also be seeing a different sight here from the defensive side. Let's see if they can bring things back just a little bit.
Yes. Can they? They need to. I mean, it's difficult enough with the 4-2 scoreline, which is like the best that they can hope for at the end of the half. If they win this round, I think they're fully capable of doing so. I mean, they had a really good round number 1. They did it. The win that they had in round number 1 wasn't due to the fact that they got a key pick on somebody who was like doing heavy damage to them or anything along those lines. I think they played very well. Their team, like if somebody went down, somebody was there to fill in that gap and cover that angle and get the refrag, et cetera, et cetera. And so they won. I'm not going to say like they won easily, but they won it convincingly enough to say, oh, it looks like OutDuced might prove us wrong. They have a really good shot at this game. And then DG just turned up the heat. Maddox was there for a few rounds with multi-kills, but when she wasn't, the likes of Dope Girl was there to make up the, and her teammates were there to make up, pick up the slack. And so the thing with DG is the thing with any team really, if you rely on one player to do a heavy workload and they go down, not only do you not have that player who's been doing that heavy workload, but you've got the mental game too. Like, oh no, she's off the board. What are we going to do now? And Disrupt hasn't had that problem, right? If Maddox goes down, who we've known all season long based on her performance that she's a heavy fragger, when she goes down, the rest of her team is right there to pick up the slack. As a matter of fact, I think the rest of the team is just as good as Maddox. It's just Maddox is more aggressive, and she's just kind of in the door first, and then that's why she gets the kills.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. And I think another thing we need to talk about is with a situation where Maddox is playing out of her mind, it's easy to kind of fall into that situation. But we are going to see, once again, Maddox playing aggressively on the stairs, just walks up for free. Absolutely no intel, goes into the rotate. That's another one for Maddox. Kitbull goes down. Maestro and Bandit off the board finally is refragged out. But that intel needs to be quicker. The communication and the comms right now for the side of OutDuced is just not working. Shots are going to be riddling out there from the Thermite, potentially able to get the kill there, but unfortunately wasn't able to find it. But it's going to be brought down to a 3v2. It's going to be the Jaeger and the Castle left alive in a situation where Sight has been almost gifted, and Castle is your last pillar sitting on site, and things are really starting to fall apart now for OutDuced. Even when it's just a 3v2, everything is still in favor right now of the attacking side. So much intel, so much momentum, and everything is really working right now for Disrupt Gaming.
Yeah, but that's still very winnable for OutDuced. They just need to stabilize, calm down. There's still a minute left to work with for the attacking squad, so they shouldn't expect a push to come in super fast. And Hannah just a frame away from taking the head off of Fry Queen, who's also been having a very good game. She had a quad kill in the previous round. So she's mounted, ready to go. Chameleonaire will peek in and find Hannah Mitsu completely unprepared. She'll find, oh no, that'll be Dope Girl that will find Trippery. Either way, DG, a flurry of blue names flying across the screen in the closing seconds of that. And Disrupt will take the half 5-1 over OutDuced. And OutDuced, we were in this position just a game ago with a 5-1 scoreline at the half. Last time we said, listen, 5 sticks. Like, it's not as bad as match point when you're OutDuced. But if you make one mistake, your buffer is gone, right? Because if you make one mistake and you drop a round to Disrupt, then you have to be perfect from then on out. So it would be nice if they could get 2 or 3 rounds under their belt if they're going to try and mount a comeback, which they're going to try, right? Do they have the capability? I don't know. I mean, it's 5-1. Now it's their chance to attack. We talked about the defensive-sided map, Clubhouse. We've talked about how in CCS R6W, we've seen two teams, in the same match be successful on attack, and then they flip, and then the other team's successful on attack, despite what the statistics tell us. Either way, Disrupt now on fire, having won 5 straight as they make the switch to defense.
If I'm on the side of OutDuced right now, this could be premature, but in my opinion, I think they need to take a calculated risk. Because even if the calculations are wrong, there is not much more you can lose. If you lose this game, you are going to be stuck in a situation where you are battling for the midfield of the table. And you're also in a situation you are down 5-1. If you make a mistake, if things kind of go astray, you've already lost so many rounds. This is a time for maybe you to say, you know what, let's change things up a little bit. Maybe we start winning those rounds. So calculated risk needs to be on the mindset right now here for OutDuced, because I think that could be one of their last options right now, because DG, like you said, they are on fire. And once a team starts heating up, it is so much harder to try and cooling them down.
There's a lot of holes being punched here. We've seen this in the last game. This is kind of a popular tactic, kind of like playing whack-a-mole if you're trying to push Moto. But it's just a typical setup as the Jaeger will prepare to play behind the little AC there. Round ticks away. OD wasting no time getting into site, just making sure there's no roam to contend with. But it looks like there is somebody up there near the pool table, if I'm not mistaken. If the outline was correct on my screen. Might have rotated back down. I'm not sure. Is there somebody roaming, or am I just crazy? I see 4 downstairs right now. I see 4 downstairs. Ted, our beautiful camera operator, looking for them. Nope, there they are, all 5. So it looks like everybody is accounted for.
We're all
downstairs.
accounted for, yes. Yeah. No man left behind is like a field trip for just a second there. But we are reaching... It's almost the halfway point, and again, not much has happened, but this is a kind of play style that DG favors. They love to wait till that last second. Almost every attacking round that they won came down to the last 10 seconds, and it was just a flurry of kills. Similar to old Vitality in Season 1 and Season 2 of R6 Pro League. It's just wait to the last second, and then things kind of fall into your lap. And OutDuced have been playing into that play style just a little bit too much, and they're doing it once again here. They're stalling out on this attack. Everything's being somewhat predicted here from DG, and they're just going to wait for them to walk into their crosshairs. Minute 20 left, and there's almost 0 control downstairs. This is not looking good for the attacking side.
Oh, you should have gone for it, Fry Queen. That would have been the perfect opportunity to take somebody out, as it looks like they were on drone right in that position. Opsa saved the C4, and she'll have one in her pocket. Chameleonaire will get absolutely annihilated. First, the fire. Second, Matt will come down, finish her off with the bar. So here we go. 52 seconds left and a lot of action coming. Maddox still playing in that main hall. Very aggressive at all time. Will just peek away, but Doja Wolf will find Kitbull there. And Dope Girl, she'll find 1. She'll find 2 with the Alda.
Oh my.
And just like that, it's a 4v1. And nope, cannot be stopped. Doja will find 2 of her own. DG absolutely steamrolling OutDuced in their first defense.
This is almost identical to the game we saw before. It's just very one-sided matchup, and OutDuced, it looks like they're just getting outplayed right now, and Disrupt are looking to try to take that first-place spot or even that second-place spot and try to secure it, because they are on match point right now. They're on defensive clubhouse, and it is 6-1. I mean, just looking at that scoreboard, wow, I just looking at that once again, this exact same round 7, we saw last time. I think it was... Marmalade had 11 kills. Maddox has 11 kills. And coming into this game, we said those 2 players have been drawing parallels to each other this entire season. And the fact we're seeing that is just, it's a little bit scary. It's a little bit of a coincidence as well. But it's almost these first 2 games, Axios versus 8K, OutDuced versus Disrupt, they've almost mirrored each other in a way.
They have. And you know, last week we talked about it. As a matter of fact, last week and the week before, we saw tons of close games. I think the biggest differential in the scoreline we saw 2 weeks ago was like 3 rounds. I think 7-4 was like the biggest.
There was a 7-1. There was one 7-1.
2 weeks ago?
Powerhouse versus Victor.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
so,
2 weeks ago.
No. So last week, Powerhouse played.
Victoria's Secret.
Victoria's Secret. Okay, so that, yeah, I'm talking about 2 weeks ago. I think Powerhouse managed to get at least they haven't been having a great season. I think they're yet to win a game, but I think a couple of weeks ago they had their best game. Maybe it was a 7-3 scoreline. Either way, and then we had two go into OT, and then we had two like 7-4, 7-5 score lines. So we've had good matches pretty much consistently ever since after week 1. This time around, it seems pretty one-sided. Looks like Maddox being very aggressive will peek out. She'll see a shield. She'll continue the peek, ignoring the shield completely ignoring the shield. We'll turn her back to it, just saying, yeah, I don't care about you, Monty. Drop your shield. You give me the audio cue, I'll turn around and end your life. She actually has Dope Girl up top, too, to try and stop the push from behind. And she'll play right up against that shield. Maddie being so aggressive, will try to go for the knife, but will not even pay heed to Trippery outside. Easy kill for her. And Maddox, yeah, you got 11 kills. We get it. But we're still playing a game here. You got to pay attention to. Trippery will throw in that EMP and finish off the Maestro cam. So it will be removed as well. Doker will now be alone in Garage to play. This is a scenario that we've seen many times before. Doja will find Matt K, so that'll be a refrag for Disrupt onto the Capitol. So all that utility loss will be one of the fire arrows dispatched. But Hanamitsu from her own hole there in the wall will find one onto the Maestro up top. So now it's a 3v4, but Doja will refrag back with the double kill, doing a lot of work. The shield not helping much, but will whip out the pistol and finish off Doja. 2v3, only 2 left, and one of a bandit with a lot of health gone.
This is a great take here with the Monty. This has been absolutely perfect from the attacking side. Yeah, you lost your Capital. Yeah, you lost your Thatcher, but you have so much time left. You have one of the most dominant post-plant operators in your lineup right now, and you also have quite a lot of control of the site. If they recognize this and go for the plant early on, this could easily go into OutDuced favor, but they need to recognize it quickly here, because the more time ticks away, the easier it is for the defense to win this out. And being on match point, the last thing you want to have happen is to have the defense win this out. And it looks like they are going to recognize the fact that they do have site control, that C4 is going to get tossed out. A little bit premature again. I think you just got to wait a little bit. And I know it's looming to see a Monty just sitting there. And you just got to wait a little bit. But there is a C4 below, and Valkyrie should be able to get this freebie. And good night, says the Valkyrie, as Kitbull goes down. And that is unfortunate. This is exactly why you need to make that push just a little bit quicker, because now the defense is looking a little bit stronger. Monty once again back towards the rotate of Garage, could easily get picked off here, and Chameleon Air is able to find one. It's going to be all up to the Monty. Great post-plane operator when you have other operators on the board, but by himself, not the best. And we are going to see that there, and just like that, DG convincingly take Clubhouse and are going to be moving, potentially are going to be moving to number 1 on the scoreboard.
It blows my mind. The game's already over. I feel like we just got started. Very well played by Disrupt. OutDuced looking strong on the Monty. I'm not sure what happened at the end there. There was a 3v2. The diffuser was down, and DG, despite OutDuced's best efforts, will take it 7-1. And I think that's the most one-sided game we've seen OutDuced take part in thus far.
Yes, it is. I think the exact stats, the closest they had to a one-sided matchup was against Queen YOLO mid, and it was when it was 7-2, and that was in a week 1. So 7-1 now against Disrupt. Either OutDuced just wasn't really feeling it today, or Disrupt, they were on a heater. I think I'm going to go with the latter.
Yeah, and it wasn't just off the backs of Maddox like we've seen before. Did she have a good few rounds? Yeah, but the rest of the team did great. I was saying Dope Girl's name like it was going out of style. A lot of DG doing tremendously well. Brimstone, buddy, welcome back.
What's up? That was quite a match to watch there. And I mean, you said it really well there. Maddox, 11K, obviously impressive. But you go through the rest of that lineup, and people were hitting multi-kill rounds, round by round, team from front to back. They were just on point. And I don't really know if it was even OutDuced having a bad game. I think everyone was just on point for DG there.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think coming into this game, a lot of people were married to the idea that the fact that it was only Maddox and all Maddox for this Disrupt side. And then looking at this, I think they're point of view is going to change quite a bit because we saw multiple people going off. We saw Dope Girl, like you said, Ty. You were saying her name so many times that it almost went out of style. And it's just a really strong showing there from Disrupt. I don't necessarily think it was a bad showing from OutDuced. I just think Disrupt, they showed up to play today, and they have proven once again why they deserve to be in that top 4 in the standings.
Well, you also know that the team's got to be good when you can have Dope Girl kill Maddox and they're still going to win. Yeah. So I think they're set up pretty well there. Well, that was a great match. We're going to cut to a quick break here, but don't go anywhere. Grab some drinks, go to the washroom, whatever you need to do. When we come back, it's going to be Sinister Red versus Artemis. That's the top team taking on the 9th team. So it's unlikely that Artemis would lose, unlikely that DG is going to move in a first, but hey, you never know. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens.